Hi everybody, so we're on to the next part of the raven. As you can see, I've got my raven all done. I've used a lot of blacks, pattern blacks, lots of pattern in here, a lot of grey, some sort of purpley whites, grey patterns as well. There is a lot of pattern in here. Just to break it all down. I've also done my background, and I've only done it roughly. As you can see, it's all it's not quite cut properly, but everything else is going to go over the top of that. So basically that's just a layer for me to then put my patterns back on top. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a go at this moon. And I've already cut some pieces to make it a bit quicker. So I've got this piece here, which is the biggest of the bits to go in the moon area. So that's just going to go up here, like that. So we'll just quickly stick that down. And then that will drop down the back end. Let me just turn this slightly so you can get a better look. Okay, so that's going to turn, that will turn under there and off the edge. And it will turn under there and off the edge, you can see. That's how it goes. Right, so now I've got this bit that I've already cut to size, which is quite a dark piece. So just pull my backing off of it. Slot it in. Just decide which. I think we'll go with that over the top. Like that. And then I've got one more bit, whole bit, which slots under here. So that's taking my beak. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut smaller pieces up to fill in the rest of my moon shape. So I've got a whole variety of creams that I've pulled out. Not that one. So I've got a whole variety of creamy colours that I've found bits of that I can use. All of these bits and pieces. Like that. And we're just going to cut them up and stick them on. Basically, now we've got all these bigger bits. We've got all the shape is there. We can just go for it. I'm just going to make sure that that is in the right spot. Because that is the one bit, when I was cutting my background out, I made sure that this is the right shape for my moon so I can tuck all my bits underneath it. Just makes it so much quicker and easier. So I just cut it up any old how. Slot it under. Stick it down. Simple as that. I really like these bits that are really weird and wonderful shapes as well. They kind of everything can just go underneath everything else now because I put these bigger pieces in. I'm going to put not too much of that purple pattern, so just going to see how it looks. Yeah, I quite like that actually, because it sort of comes away through. It comes through from the raven that's got a few purpley bits in it, so that works quite well, I think. Just being bold with a few patterns, not too much. Jury's out on that one a bit. I'll leave that for the time being. May just be a bit too pinky. Maybe some small bits of it might just work. Bit of a thicker piece of fabric, so it just takes a little bit more sticking down. Let's have a look. Just gonna draw that shape round so I'm not wasting too much. I'm gonna have a go. Actually, that works really well. I quite like that. And just draws the eye a bit. We're just building across. Because we put these bigger main pieces in, we can just rip across it really quickly. going to put another bit of that in as well because I want to just... Patterns tend to sort of just bring it alive a little bit. Especially when you're using them in, you know, in small little areas like this. It tends to work really well. But I really like the juxtaposition between planes and patterns. I like to have planes in there as well. I'm certainly not an all pattern person, but that's just my personal preference, and you can do whatever you like. That's the beauty of this particular medium, is that you know, every piece is going to be unique. Even if I do this again, it's not going to be the same. It's always unique. So you can quite quickly fill the area in. Some of my pieces are small, some of them are a bit bigger. Just keep the variety up. None of them are a standard shape. I get from being worried about using this. I'm going to use it lots because it looks really good. This is a great way of using all those little tiny bits up. I mean, I don't know if you're like me, but I hate throwing bits away. So I've got drawers of tiny little bits like this. Should have been thrown away a long time ago. But it's sitting at the bottom of the drawer, waiting for this moment in time. And this bit, look, it's really filthy, dirty, but there are a few bits that I can still scrape away. There we go, in a very short space of time. Sorry, the camera stopped working then for a minute. So we're back on it. But so in a very short space of time, you can see that we have filled up half of that area really quickly. So I'm just going to carry on because it won't take me very long to get this bit done. I think my moon is probably a bit bigger than yours because I've used a slightly bigger, wider frame because I just had it, and this is a sort of in between size. I think I said in my last video it's in between the larger size and the smaller size. And you can play around with the size just in your print settings. If you need it a bit bigger, you can set the percentage a bit bigger when you get to your print settings. You should be able to anyway on most printers. So you can do it like 10% bigger and %50 bigger, whatever you want, and that should work. this particular pattern. It's quite a graphic pattern actually. It's I don't know, it kind of reminds me slightly of a sort of a lino print type in the way it's, I don't quite know how I'll actually manage to put it together like this, but it's got that sort of feel about it that is maybe slightly less realistic than some of my other bits, but I kind of like the vibe of it. Just squish that together a bit, let's pull it apart. See, that wraps round the edge. Just move the camera so it's, you can kind of see it. See, that will go down the edge of my canvas. Similar to that colour, so put that down here, I think. None of my bits are super small, they're all, you know, of a good size. And again, it just comes down to thinking about putting your bigger pieces in first and building around them. It makes such a difference to the speed with which you can do everything. If you just think about which bits to put in, even when, you know, like I said, when we were doing the raven, you know, by putting the bigger pieces in, you can then start layering things a bit easier. Just brings everything together much quicker. Don't need that big bit. Let's cut that in half. Let's go there. So we'll just attach that up there. Just you need a few bits coming over the edge. majority of stuff I put underneath the layers. Sometimes I put bits on top, like I did that bit, but most of the time I put it underneath, because then you know everything's going to be overlapped and it's going to hold itself together. A couple more bits. That's going to go over, but that gives me a nice big area to work with around the sides. So I just need to fill this bit in here. That'll work quite well there, I think. Couple of gaps to fill in, and I'm just going to do that by putting a bigger piece behind the whole lot. Just fills in any of those little gaps, gives me a good overlap around the side. And there we go, that's my moon finished. So it's just move it across so you can kind of see it a bit better. And move it out so you can see the whole effect so far. And now we're on to the fence, which again shouldn't be too difficult because there's nothing very small. I've already started to cut a few bits out. Don't know what I've done with them. Under here somewhere. Under my really neat, tidy stuff. I don't know. But we'll come back and do that separately. But I think it's looking quite cool. I really like it. So bye for now.